So today's conservation is about Lysaufakk, which is a spirit that was revealed while I was working, while I was doing a theurgy with the demonic duke Berith. Now, through working with Berith, through working with God and Berith, I'm being introduced into various deep levels of theurgy. Berith was pretty much the most willing one, the one that is more willing to make theurgies in depth. I expected God to be the one that is more willing and more capable of expanding your horizons, of expanding your mind, of going back into Chokmah and coming back to the Bina again and again. So think about theurgy, or at least in my own personal interpretation, theurgy is the art of going back into the one light, which is Chokmah, and emanating forth into thousands of lights, which is Bina. The more you do it, the more in depth you get, the more knowledge you get. So you go back to understanding into the one essence of no mind, coming back into Bina, which is the mind, which is the knowledge, which is the deciphered understanding of this nothingness. So continuing on, so through working with Berith, I was introduced to various spirits which I had evolved and integrated within my own being. And Lysaufakk, perhaps one of the most powerful ones that I had ever called. Now let's see about who is Lysaufakk. So his name was channeled, completely demonic name, which I entered his name into Hebrew because I also work with Hebrew and Greek magical systems. So I was able to break up the components of his name into three, which is Lys, Sau, and Fak. In so doing, he is Lamed, Yod, Samech, Aleph, Vav, Pe, Kof, Kof. Now starting from the Lys components. So I was not able to find clear attribution and clear connection to any Hebrew words. With Lys, I was able to find something similar. First is Lysaufakk, which is meant to anoint and cover with oil. Sau, which may be connected to Sah, which means to move and to be lifted and carried upward. Or Saun, which is another form of lifting up or burying in dirt. Buddha had chose the interpretation that it may be on variation of the word nasa, which means to lift or bear. But with this Hebrew root, the Sau, we can find the common theme of lifting or going upward. So the next little funny component, which is the Fak, written as Pe, Kof, Kof. It was easy to find an attribution. And no, it is not fucking. But instead, using that Hebrew root, we can find direct match of Bagak, which means to open and unseal. Particularly something that was previously locked or bound. Another interpretation is Pega, which means to burst and rupture. So yeah, now the first component of his name, which is Lys, suggests something elusive, something that is beyond reach, that is sacred and requires effort. Is doing. We can find attribution to the Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to search it out, which is the essence of Lys. This is the essence of Lys. He does not give, but he ensures that this is the essence of Lys. He does not immediately give, but ensures that what must be sought will be found. The promise is real, but it remains unseen, inaccessible until the appointed moment. We get into the sound part. In the second component of his name, we can find a journey of obsession and the art of striving towards the covenantal reality, which is attributed into venturing forth into the promised land, into the land of Canaan, which, spoiler alert, this is what Lysaufakk precisely does. And in my own life, I had found that he puts fire under your butt, that he makes shit happen. Now that I've made the connection that the second component has to do with lifting and caring, it mirrors the pilgrimage to Jerusalem, the climb of Moses into Mount Sinai, the journey of transformation that precedes revelation and biblical tradition. Psalm 24:3 asks, who may ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? The answer is not passive waiting, but of purification, of preparation and elevation, which is mirrored in the preparations that Joshua had done in order to do a covenant with the Lord. Now, the third and final component of his name, which is Fakk, rooted in the word bagak, which means to unseal and break open, to release what is bound. It is the stage that the things are hidden are revealed, or in covenantal terms, write a pact and unseal, manifest what is written in the pact. The moment of Shechem, the place where Abraham first built an altar upon arriving in the promised land, where Joshua renewed the covenant before leading Israel into conquest. It is the moment of Jericho, where the sealed walls fall, not passive waiting, but through active, forceful alignment with divine command, which is the essence of Lysaufakk. It is ordaining, it is lifting the powers. And it's true, Lysaufakk hates hesitation. He makes shit happen. He will give you the powers, he will give you the tools, he will give you the weapons, and he will say, this is the land of Canaan, now venture forth, my child. Now, we deciphered some very hidden things about the character of Lysaufakk. What's very interesting about this covenantal spirit is that if you combined the geometric values of the three components of Lysaufakk, you get gematria of 387, which aligns him to the Hebrew word Shechem. Shechem is not just a location in the biblical story, but it is a spiritual threshold where the divine covenants are renewed, tested, and are either upheld or shattered. In Genesis 12:6-7, Shechem is where Abraham builds his first altar, marking his entry to the divine promise. In Joshua 24:1-27, Shechem is where Joshua gathers Israel to renew the covenant with Hashem, sealing the fate of the inheritance. In Judges 9, Shechem is where the false covenants led into destruction, where betrayal and idolatry result in divine reckoning. Now, with these revelations and in my spiritual working with him, I'm out to proclaim him as the spirit of Shechem, because he is indeed a spirit of conquest, the spirit that makes covenant work, a spirit of movement. In that form, Lysaufakk is the unsealer of divine will. He does not forge the covenant. Berith does. Remember, Berith is the Lord of Lysaufakk. So you can think of Lysaufakk as an agent, as an emissary. Or most accurately, in demonic hierarchical terms, he's a lord. He ensures completion. He is the overwhelming force that compels movement. He is the pressure that makes delay unbearable. He shatters barriers. The Father descends into the time of revelation. The land does not heal itself freely. It must be taken. And Lysaufakk ensures that this is what will happen.